money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. Busy hour on tap. Bottom of the hour, we'll talk best bets, NBA Summer League Day 1 here out in Las Vegas. Justin Bales going to join the program. We'll also go inside our pizzeria with some long shot bets, maybe some cross-sport parlays as well coming up in about 45 minutes. We continue with professional gambler Richard Munchkin right now, kind enough to join us in studio. He's been on the show a handful of times in the past. He's one of the best guests that we've had on a consistent basis, like over the years. On X at RWM21. Podcast is called Gambling with an Edge. I've been waiting to hear this story all day. Well, actually more than that, since we knew that you were going to come in. But what was going on with the guy years ago who was cheating at roulette? He was using a device that was on his back?
Yeah, so first of all, I have to say he was not cheating.
Okay.
Because computers were not outlawed in Nevada until 1985. And this was a few years prior to that. So there were quite a number of people who got including Ed Thorpe, who got the idea to build a computer to be able to beat roulette. And back then, the hardware was the biggest challenge. And so this guy had a roulette computer, and he was in the Fremont, I believe. And so you're timing the speed of the wheel and the speed of the ball, and then the computer predicts what segment of the wheel the ball is going to land. And he was wearing a suit coat, and the computer was, strapped to his back, his lower back. And he started to feel really warm and started to sweat. And the next thing you know, he felt like the computer was getting too hot, like he had to leave. And all of a sudden, he realized there was smoke coming out of his coat. And he hightailed it out, and he had burned himself. It started a fire on his shirt, and he had burned himself before getting out of there and getting the thing off of his back. But I have a story about a guy who actually was cheating at roulette. And this guy, this was in the 70s, they drilled a hole in a roulette ball and put a magnetic core inside and then plugged the hole. And the guy would wrap copper wire around his body and had a battery pack in his pockets. And he would stand over the wheel head, and his partner would bet. And then when the ball was coming along to the section where his partner had bet, he would flip the switch, and the magnet would pull the ball out of the track and down into the wheel head.
Get out of here.
And this was going fine until one day he flipped the switch and the ball just disintegrated. And nobody knew what had happened. His partner got up and left. He walked away from the wheel. The dealer was totally confused, like, where's the ball? So after that, they actually bought a machine to press their own acetate balls rather than drilling a hole, which had weakened the ball. And
how the hell did they get the ball, drill a hole to put the magnet in it, and then get it back on the wheel?
So they would either distract the dealer and the guy would just reach in and switch it, or they would have a very sexy woman in a low-cut blouse say, "Let me kiss the ball for luck." And the dealer would give it to her, and she would make the switch and kiss the ball and give it back to him. Those were just two of the ways, but it was
had to work. That worked every single time.
Yeah,
right.
Wow. Assuming it was a male dealer. Yeah,
sure.
Which back then, actually, I mean, they didn't bring women dealers in. I don't think until the 70s here in Vegas. They started earlier in Reno.
That's incredible. Again, I could talk to you all day, but that goes back to, did you have anything that can top that? Because you mentioned that one time there was a team that brought in a whole new shoe. And they said, how do you smuggle in your own shoe?
That blows my mind.
But that was, you said the gal would flash the dealer, or there'd be something going on in a distraction, and someone would make the switch and bring in their own shoe.
Yeah, I mean, this was not that unusual. I mean, there were a lot. It's called a cooler, where you're switching in the whole, either 4 decks or 6 decks or whatever. And often the guy under his coat would have like a sling, so that he could just, come out with it and take the take the old cards and go. But usually in those cases, when the cooler was going in, usually the dealer and probably a boss was in on it. Sometimes if there was an eye in the sky, he was in on it too. So
I was going to say, how would they navigate that with the cameras looking down, but everybody's part of the whole...
There were no cameras back then. I mean, when I was a dealer in 1978, 9, 80, we had no cameras, and if there was a guy who had to go up on a catwalk to go look through the mirrors, the dust would start dropping from the ceiling, so you always knew, oh, there's a guy up in the sky.
Wow.
So,
wow.
I can't imagine the pressure, by the way, of the guy making the switch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the heart rate must be 250. He's like, okay, now it's my turn. I got to make this. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Pressure packed right there.
Actually, I have a good friend who, when he was about 19 years old, his dad and his uncle were old crossroaders. And his first job for them was he had to go in with a buddy and start a fight in the middle of the casino to draw everybody's attention while his dad and his uncle put in a cooler.
Oh, there you go. You wanted to bring up computers because it was California 2003 until they outlawed them. And remember, you told that great story about Scotland Yard where Daryl had the wire going down. It was hanging out of his jeans.
Yeah. So, it's funny because... there's always this conventional wisdom, right? Like when you read the internet, if you look at the forums where blackjack players hang out, the things that people are so adamant about that are bad usually were tremendously profitable for us. So when, like, for example, when 6 to 5 came in, right, everybody was like, oh, this is horrible, it's the death of blackjack, and we should do everything we can to stop this. For us, it was unbelievably profitable because the casinos didn't worry about it. They thought it's 6 to 5, nobody's going to beat that. So, we could beat it like a drum and didn't get much heat for it. But the same thing would happen is anytime somebody brought up the idea of using a computer, immediately these internet heroes would jump on there and go, that's illegal, you'll go to prison, and it was true that they made them illegal in Nevada in 1985, but that did not mean they were illegal everywhere. So, for example, in California, they didn't get outlawed until, I think it was New Year's Eve of 2003.
Wow.
And so we were playing on New Year's Eve right up until, the time, well, actually, some wires broke and we had to quit about 10:30. But, computers were legal there and, so there were games to be beat. And the technology had gotten so much better. We actually didn't have to have a computer in the casino at all.
Oh, you didn't?
Unbelievable.
We were able to relay the information over a cell phone.
Wow.
Okay.
We'll get to the great Alan Woods coming up, and there's a chapter in your book about him, Gambling Wizards. So you say two most important things, name, reputation, and your circle or network. Where does being creative about getting money out of the casino rank?
Well, that's everything. I mean, to me, that's more important than finding a way to get an edge. It's usually much easier to find a way to get an edge than it is to actually make money with that edge. And you know this from sports betting, right? I mean, there are a lot of ways to get an edge at sports betting, but your account gets limited. You're allowed to bet $2.40.
Right.
So the art of this game is to figure out the ways to extract the money. And yeah, as I say, to me, that's much more important than finding an edge. I mean, you can pick up any book on card counting and find an edge. It's not that hard.
Okay, so do you have any examples of why and how it was so difficult to get the money out of casinos?
Well,
don't set off the alarms that they're winning.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things that's really important is making a judgment about how much can this particular casino lose and still be comfortable. And, there's no hard and fast number, and it's going to be different for every casino. But judging that, figuring out what their threshold is, and staying just under it. I was playing that place in Iowa in the middle of the winter. I was playing there. I had 2 hands of 900 bet, right? And the limit's 1,000. And the boss comes walking by, and he does a 180, and he goes, "Are you betting 1,000?" I said, "No, it's 900." And he goes, "Oh, okay, because if you bet the limit, I have to call the eye." Well, that's why I was betting 2 hands at 900, right?
You're aware.
Yeah, I was aware, but the thing is, I'm betting 1,800. That's more than the limit of 1,000. But, I mean, casinos come up with these really stupid rules. That same place had a carnival game where the limit was $25. If you bet $25, they had to call the eye in the sky. Now, I'm sure the guys who worked up there were awfully tired of getting calls about people betting $25 on a carnival game. But, yeah, it's just part of sort of learning the landscape of these places.
Very good. Very good.
You're such an incredible storyteller. Can you hang around for one more segment? I know we're keeping you for a full hour. Is that okay today?
Yeah, I'm supposed to meet some people for lunch. Okay. So, yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll buy you lunch then sometime soon to make up for it. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Any spot that you want to go. We'll continue with Richard Munchkin up next. I think we have to get into the Alan Woods story, right? He was telling us during the break. He left in a state years ago when he passed away for $1 billion from betting horses.
Yeah.
For those who don't know who Alan Woods is, Richard Munchkin will tell you next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, one more segment with Richard Munchkin. We're keeping him from lunch. We feel bad about it. Not that bad because he's such a great storyteller. You can follow him on X. He's at RWM21. Again, the podcast is called Gambling with an Edge with Bob Dancer. So we had Anthony Curtis in studio on Monday. And Mr. Las Vegas Advisor, LasVegasAdvisor.com. He's been on the show several times. He was telling the story at a convention, gambling convention back in 1981 in Lake Tahoe. He was there, a bunch of other blackjack players, and they were going off on their own. And here's a small group of people who were going and meeting and talking about betting on horses. Well, you told us during the break, I was unaware of this, but Alan Woods, who passed away many years ago, he left an estate for $1 billion, all from horse betting?
Yeah. I mean, maybe he made some money in the stock market and things too, but yeah, it was really all from horse betting. So the horse betting really started with a guy named Bill Bentor. And Bill Bentor was the one who had the idea that you could build a computer model to beat horse racing. And Bill and Alan were on the same blackjack team. And I was on that same blackjack team. And Bill and Alan broke off from blackjack and went to Hong Kong to start betting horse racing. And they had a falling out after a year or two, and they went their separate ways. And Alan ended up leaving $1 billion. Bill is still in business, one of the biggest gamblers in the world.
Wow. So Alan was one of the first people to believe in you?
Well,
or back you? How should we say?
So what happened was I was a beginning card counter. I was dealing at the same time, and I would, practice while I dealt and go out at night and bet after work. But I was a backgammon player. That's how I went through college, was playing backgammon and poker. And there was a backgammon club here in town. Well, Vegas was a very small town in the late 70s. And so a card counter I knew came to me while I was at work, and he said, "Hey, there's this Australian in town, and he wants to play backgammon for a lot of money." And I said, "Set it up." So I ended up meeting Alan Woods this way, and he ended up checking me out and finding out he didn't want to play for a lot of money. But we started playing backgammon, and they would order up lots of room service. He was on a comp at the Desert Inn. And at the end of a week, he said to me, "How come you're not playing blackjack for more money?" And I said, I don't have the bankroll. I'm just starting out, so I'm betting what I can afford. And he goes, well, how about I put up $20,000 and you play until you double it, and then we'll split the money, 60-40. And I was like, you've known me a week, and you're going to give me $20,000, this is $1980, to go gamble in the casino and report back how I did? Yeah. And I swear to God, he reaches in his coat and he pulls out 2 10-packs and he slides them across the table to me. And that's how I became a professional blackjack player.
Wow.
And I mean, Alan changed my life. I mean, he really, I don't know what I'd be doing today if that hadn't happened.
Really?
I mean,
So there's a chapter in your book about them, Gambling Wizards, but there's also was in Michael Kaplan's book then about the World Cup bets. And then you had a story here of what it was. Hey, do you want a piece of me? Do you want to get I mean, are we talking $3-4 million bets on World Cup matches?
Well, so when it got to the finals, I had half of 1% of his action. And he called me up and said, hey, I think maybe you want to take your percentage down to 1/10. I was like, Alan, I have half of 1%. How much can I swing on this one game? And he goes, $125,000. So he had $25 million on that game.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, take me down to 1/10.
My God.
Ballpark the year.
Like 94, maybe, something like that. Yeah, I think maybe 92, 94.
Well, that was at the one in the U.S.
94, yeah.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
Might have been 92. I don't really remember.
I believe that was in L.A.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Was this just Korea, or how important was his philosophy, or excuse me, his advice about you got to change money on the black market? Or you're going to take a haircut.
Again, here's another way Alan changed my life. He calls me up in 1986, and he goes, hey, I found a really good game, and, I'll put up the money, you go play. And I said, you know what, I'm with a team, and I can't really go play on my own without my team.
Okay.
And he said, well, I'll tell you what, the whole team can go play it, and whatever you were going to bet, just bet twice as much, and I'll take the other half. And I go, okay. And it was Korea. And it was, the game was an advantage off the top just for a basic strategy player. I mean, it was a tremendous game. And they were getting action like no casino I had ever seen before. The average guy would walk up to the table and buy in for $1,000. I mean, it was insane. And it was because that was when Japan was going through the boom time. And so anyway, when I get there, he tells me, now, look, it's important you change the money on the black market because otherwise you'll lose like 10% if you go try to change it at the casino or at a bank. And he tells me about this guy named Marty who can show me where the black market is. So Marty takes me, I go meet Marty. He takes me down this fish alley, where there's all these open-air stalls with fish and ice, but they're also selling, T-shirts and knockoff tennis shoes and all that. And then we turn into a neighborhood and we go to this guy's house. And, Marty says, okay, this guy will take care of you. I said, okay, great. So he invites me in, traditional Korean home, like we sit on the floor. There's no furniture. They're just pillows and a safe in the corner. And he goes, how much do you want to change? I say 20,000. And he goes, hundreds or small bills? I say hundreds. You get more for hundreds than you do for small bills. So I say hundreds. So I give him the money, counts out the money very carefully, opens the door of the safe, puts the money in, closes the door, and goes, come back at 7 o'clock. And I go, what? No, give me back the money. And he's like, no, it's no problem. Just come back at 7 o'clock. I'm like, oh, it's a big problem. Give me back my money. And, finally he's like, okay. And he opens the door and he gives me back the money. He says, come back at 7 o'clock. So, I leave, and now I'm going back, and now Fish Alley is closed, and it's dark, and there's nobody there, And I'm going down this dark alley with $20,000 in my pocket. The average income in Korea at that time was $200 a month. And they know I'm coming with $20,000 in cash.
Yeah.
Youch.
And I just, I was thinking, like, this is crazy. I should not be doing this. This is nuts. Like, I mean, there's no street lights. It's just craziness. But I mean, if I had been alone and not part of a team, I would have turned around and left. And but I didn't feel like I could call my teammates and go, well, I got scared.
Sorry.
So I went. Everything turned out to be fine. He had the money. He gave me the money. And after doing business with that guy for 3.5 years, I now know that I easily could have left him the $20,000.
No problem.
And no problem.
Yeah.
I could have told him I'll be back in a week, and it would have been no problem.
Really?
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the money changer was an honorable profession in Korea.
Okay.
So.
The AP Summit's in 2 weeks. You'll be going to that. Is it similar to the blackjack ball? 90 seconds.
Well, no. It's 3 or 4 days in the mountains, a lot of recreation, a lot of golf, hiking, biking,
Big deal. Okay.
But we have some seminars where we'll have like a panel discussion, or somebody will give a presentation about something to do with some form of gambling that would be of interest to the rest of the people there. But it's really more of a social, recreational kind of thing.
You have gravitated to sports betting more over the last couple of years. Now here at Circa, they're offering a $100,000 buy-in, the Grandissimo for a Survivor contest. Any thought of getting in that?
Not for me personally.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see, because of the big, beautiful bill. I don't know how that's going to affect things. So, that would be horrendous to... because that doesn't finish, obviously, until 2026.
Right, because if that goes all the way to the very end of the year, that trickles over into 2026. So
Yeah, and the tax liability would be when you collect, not when you started. So, yeah.
Great job. Thanks for being so generous with your time.
Yeah, can't thank you enough.
You're the best. Appreciate it. Betting on sports, why not try the races? First Bet lets you wager on hundreds of horse races every day, top tracks across the U.S. and around the world. Do it at Hong Kong like Alan Woods. Promo code VSIN200. Claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days up to $200. Head to firstbet.com today, firstbet.com.
Again, the podcast with Richard Munchkin and Bob Dancer is called Gambling with an Edge. Dynamite, as you can tell. Tremendous storyteller. And there you go. Up next, we'll get into the NBA Summer League. Justin Bales on the program. He's hardcore, firing up player props. Day one here of the Summer League. We'll get his best bets tonight next here on VSIN.
This is Follow the Money on VSIN.
Day one of the Las Vegas Summer League. Game number one. Imagine this, Pauly. It's coming down to the wire, and the point spread is absolutely in question.
Okay. Well, they foul now.
Minnesota leads New Orleans 94-88. 26.8 seconds left, and this number closed, 7.5 for the T-Wolves?
Yeah.
Okay, and it moved, by the way, from 4.5 up to 7.5. So they're in a timeout right now. We will keep you updated with that. It happens all the time with this event. Justin Bales joins the program now, the owner of Low Sports, writer for Props US. You can follow him on X at BalesSJustin. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. You have a bunch of player props that you like for tonight. We'll get into those coming up in a second. Let me begin here, Justin. How long have you been betting the Summer League, and do you always prefer betting props compared to point spreads and totals in these games?
Yeah, so I generally, I guess I'll start with, I've been betting the Summer League for a few seasons now prior to really hitting it on the sports books or the single player fantasy. I was doing DFS with it and stuff. So
okay.
Probably 4 or 5 years at this point. I prefer the player props because I think that it's generally less, there's less variance in it, I would say. Not necessarily variance in terms of, what happens, but I like specifically if I'm going to lose a bet, I want to lose it on the guy shooting 3 of 16, knowing that, I handled my part of it, that the game just didn't go that way. versus, betting on a lot of, I don't want to say low quality players, but guys that aren't really going to be in the NBA long term.
Okay, totally fair enough. Let's begin with your first player prop today. In the Magic Kings game, you actually have two of them here, but Tristan da Silva, who averaged 16 points per game in his final year at Colorado in 2024, his prop tonight is 14.5. You like it over. Why is that a good bet in your opinion?
Yeah, so I generally like to take guys that have seen NBA action. Once you prove that you can play in the NBA, at least at a reasonable level, it's, I don't want to say relatively easy, but they're much better against guys that are coming to the Summer League. Da Silva has spoken in interviews so that he's the veteran of the team. He talked about how more or less he needs to take games over both offensively and defensively. The big thing that I would say for him that has kept his numbers down is that he's not a high volume guy. Last Summer League, he averaged less than 10 field goal attempts per game, still averaged 17.7 points per game. Also, obviously, saw over 20 minutes per game for Orlando, and just the difference in gameplay should be more than enough where he can kind of hit, the mid-teens and potentially even get 20 plus here.
Okay.
Great
All right.
analysis.
Yep.
Very good. How about the second overall pick? Dylan Harper, Spurs catching 4 tonight against the Sixers in the late game, but you want to go over his points prop. How do you think he's going to do?
Yeah, so I do apologize here. I didn't send over. I have a different play for this game. Harper has been ruled out since I sent over the plays. I'm just swapping over to David Jones-Garcia over 16.5 points. No Harper means that the Spurs have to rely on someone. Jones-Garcia is the scorer for that team. They've already played in 3 Summer League games. He's averaging well over 20 points a game. I truthfully have no clue why we're getting 16.5 here. I think this would be more of a point total that they should put out if Harper were playing, because he's going to be running the offense. But without him, it basically is just going through Jones-Garcia here.
Okay, very strong. How about Devin Carter tonight? Not just the points, but you want to go with points, rebounds, and assists? Yeah,
Carter's kind of the do-it-all guy for Sacramento. Last year, he only played in 5 G League games, but he averaged over 40 points, rebounds, and assists per game. Obviously, he'll see less time in this type of a situation, but he's the type of player where every year there's a few players who are too good to be playing in the Summer League. They play for a couple games, they get benched because there's just no reason for it. I'm going to take my guess that Devin Carter is one of those guys this year.
All right, very good. Nuggets taking on the Bucks today as well. Day one out here in Las Vegas. Couple of guys in this game. Hunter Tyson playing for Denver. He was traded on draft night to the Nuggets. Averaged 15-plus points per game and almost 10 boards at Clemson. And what's your bet with him?
Yeah, so I'm going over 15.5 points. This is actually what it opened at, and I'm shocked that it didn't move at all. If you look at Hunter Tyson, essentially when he came in as a rookie, he dominated the Summer League. Then he really didn't do all that much. Last year, then, his second year, he took a step back early in the games because Julian Strawther had just the ridiculous Summer League where he took over everything. Mm-hmm. He played 2 full games before kind of taking a seat on the bench early in the third game after Strawther was shut down. In those games, he averaged over 20 a game. He took 18 field goal attempts per game, saw over 5 free throw attempts per game. I'm more or less expecting Hunter Tyson to kind of be Denver's Strawther. I don't think he's going to get quite as much volume. I think Strawther averaged like 25 shots a game or something ridiculous. But I do think that Tyson dominates early, gets shut down.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, going over player props for day one of the Las Vegas Summer League with Justin Bales, owner of Buy Low Sports, writer for Props US. Follow him on X at Bales S. Justin. A final one here in the Summer League tonight. It's the same game, and Chris Livingston, in your opinion, is worth a bet.
Yeah, I took over 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's a tough situation for Milwaukee. Their Summer League roster is really, really bad. I don't believe that they have anyone that's going to take over games. I've seen people say, Andre Jackson will be that guy, but it's just not the type of player he is. I could see the offense running through him, but he's not going to be a high-volume guy. Tyler Smith's the other guy that I do think could potentially take it over, but Livingston is the main one that I want. Averaged over 25 points, rebounds, and assists in Summer League last year. He's just getting better. His G League year was really good. He averaged 28.1 points, rebounds, and assists in those. I don't see a reason that this is so low, especially when most summer league teams have 1 to 2 players that are very clearly going to be the focal points that are allowed to do whatever they want on the floor. Milwaukee doesn't really have that, so it's going to go to the lesser guys, and I think that Chris Livingston is probably one of those guys.
Awesome analysis, man. Thanks for popping on. One thing I wanted to run by you is going over your Twitter account as well, again, at Bales S. Justin. You Strider, you're involved with a parlay tonight with his K's along with Taj Bradley, but you saw some stuff like with the advanced metrics in Strider's last start where you think, oh my God, he might be actually, close to being back now?
Yeah, so what I liked in Strider's last start is, one, his velocity's back up. I believe it's that over the 96 miles an hour. But the main thing that I saw that I liked was he threw 40% sliders. I believe it was the highest slider rate that he's thrown this year. He hasn't thrown 40% in any other game. And essentially, his sliders, I don't want to say untouchable, but it's one of the best in the MLB. His swinging strike rate got up to 20% in that game outside of his game against Colorado, where it was just unbelievable. I think it was like 26% in that. This was the highest of the entire season. So I think when you couple his velocity increasing slightly along with at least his willingness to throw his slider that much, he has to feel good about his arm. I would assume that the Braves feel good about his arm. So my guess is if he's not fully back to where he was before, he's very, very close. And it's more or less just knocking off some excess rust to get back to that type of level.
Very cool. Hey, Justin, that was a great spot. Thanks for the time today. Good luck tonight, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Have a good night, guys.
There you go.
You too.
You
Good
can follow
job.
him on X at Bales S. Justin, and he was on the Progressive guest line.
All right, here we go. This is good. Open 4.5, close 7, 7.5. It's on 8.
It's on 7 right now,
It's
I
on
think.
7?
Yep.
It's on 7, and I can't believe they fouled.
Well,
Surprise.
9 seconds left, right? I think in a timeout now.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first summer league game, right? And they get a stop. Minnesota, it falls 7. Bad landing spot. Okay. Everyone should have won. Open 4.5, close 7.5, fell 7.
Okay, well, let's see here.
91.
It's ball out of bounds, and it's actually Pelicans ball, right? Yep.
They missed a couple bunnies.
Oh, my God, they've had 9 chances at it.
Man, missed a couple bunnies. No foul. Minnesota dribbles it out. Incredible.
Okay, well, for those who... Everybody should have won, right?
I was surprised they were treating it like a regular game in terms of it's foul, lay it in, foul. I mean, it's 9 seconds left, 5-point game. You just think, okay, on to the next. Let's go. But there it is.
Bet
That's
from 4.5 up to 7.5 and a land 7.
And then Cleveland opened 1.5. Indiana opened a 1.5-point dog. Indiana opened a 1.5-point dog. They closed a 2.5-point favorite. They are getting pummeled. They're down 16 in the second quarter.
Yeah, I see 47-31 right now.
That's the other game going on.
Okay.
All right, excellent. The $500 try from G-Bank, First Bet and VEASAN. All you need to do is open a G-Bank Visa signature credit card. In the first 90 days, deposit and play through $1,000 at First Bet to trigger the $500 trifecta. You get $200 in cashback rewards on your G-Bank Visa signature credit card. First Bet will give you a $100 deposit match, and VEASAN completes it with a free pro subscription through August 31st, $200 value. That's the $500 try from G-Bank, First Bet, and VEASAN. Go to VEASAN.com/GBank. Get it now. Limited to customers opening a new account. VEASAN.com/GBank.
We'll step inside Mitch and Pauly's Pizzeria coming up next. Long shot bets, pizza money. They pay off handsomely. I have 2 editions today. One almost 30 to 1. Another one higher than 40 to 1.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Hungry for a winner? Sometimes all you need is a slice.
You make this pizza?
We swap pepperoni for parlays and give you alternate lines instead of anchovies.
I'm telling you, this pizza idea is really gonna happen.
From our kitchen to your wallet, sweat with us and throw some pizza money on it.
Double meatball, pepperoni, sausage, peppers, onions, extra mozzarella.
Welcome to Mitch and Pauly's Pizzeria.
All right, who's hungry? Every Thursday, Mitch and Pauly's Pizzeria Tip Jar, sponsored by Mama's Pizza. Mama's Pizza, the only place where your pizza money always gets you a win. Check them out, mamaspizzas.net. The Mama's Pizza on Instagram. The best in the business, and the crust separates us from the rest. I'm on the team. Us and we. Let's go. Best pizza in Texas. What do we got?
You're on the team?
Yeah, Mama's Pizza, yeah. Us, we. Saying us, we,
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, okay.
Here's the parlay that I'm putting together. Two of them, by the way, Keenan, some of the same teams. Brewers to win the NL Central. They're 2 back of the Cubs. Cubs won today. They were convincing. Pete Crow Armstrong, 2 more home runs.
Yep.
A guy can pray.
Yep.
Guy can dream. I do have a couple of concerns about this. Obviously, first of all, any bets are going to be, future bets, not easy to cash when you're going to be, a decent dog. But the Brewers do have the 5th most difficult schedule remaining. They just had the most difficult. That's because they had 6 remaining against the Dodgers. Well, they swept them. So now they have 3 left against the Dodgers. The Cubs have the 3rd easiest schedule. But I'm keen in here on the Brewers, Clemson to win the ACC, and the Bills with 2 different bets. This bet is the Bills' most regular season wins. This bet pays 42-1. But I did another one here with the Brewers to win the NL Central.
What's the difference in price with wins as opposed to, okay, there you go.
Here's the other one.
There you go. Okay, here we go.
So Brewers to win the NL Central, Clemson to win the ACC, and then the Bills to be the number 1 seed in the AFC is 28-1.
Okay. Very good.
Now, again, the Cubs are not going to be easy to overtake. Bills getting this all done, obviously, is not going to be easy either. But if the Brewers can get there, or make it interesting anyway late in the season, the football season is going to be underway. We'll know a little bit about those teams, and maybe can get creative.
I mean, if they get the 1 seed in the AFC, I mean, who could beat you with that bet overall? NFC. Like, who's going to win more games? Philly's schedule's brutal. Detroit's schedule's brutal. Niners' schedule's easy, but still, that could be a big ass, too. I guess it could be the 49ers and maybe the Rams. I don't know.
Tampa?
That's aggressive.
But they have bad news, by the way, with Wirfs.
I saw that, yeah.
Looks like he's
Wirfs,
going to start the year on the PUP list.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 bets that I have.
All right. Keep sending them in. Great job, everyone. Do this every week. Suarez, home run leader, 75-1 from Weston.
He's 7 back right now.
Okay.
He has 29. Now, here's what Weston needs not to happen. If he gets traded to Seattle to go to that ballpark, I'm bringing that up because that was a rumor. Like, that's probably going to be no good. But you can come back and say, Mitch, Cal Raleigh has 36 on the year. I get it, but that's a big number, by the way, for a guy who's 7 back or not even at the break yet.
It reminds me of Salvador Perez.
Okay.
You did that? Could happen, sure. Burrow, Offensive Player of the Year, 40-1. Rams win the Super Bowl, 28-1.
All right, 2 different bets there.
Okay. Yeah, like them both. But Burrow, yeah, I don't, MVP or Offensive Player of the Year. Maybe could be a man on the mission, too. Batmobile got scrapped result of the robbery. Tigers win the division. Cubs win the division. Clemson.
No, Cubs win the NL.
Oh, Cubs, okay. Cubs win the AL, NL. Clemson wins the title. Oh, boy. Bills, Super Bowl.
Well, there's a lot here.
21-44-1. Matt. Good luck, Matt. As I said last week, and I have the magazine, Phil Steele's preseason top 40. Penn State 1, Clemson 2. So, a lot of hype for Clemson here. Clemson to win it all. Cubbies NL, Tigers NL.
Now, you notice
with the Bills.
I'm tying them into a couple of parlays. Those will not be the only 2 I'm doing.
Okay. All right. Rams NFC. Astros American League. Brewers National League. 863-1 from Mark. You're cooking there.
I don't. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Would you say Astros Tigers ALCS right now? You had to pick? Or the Blue Jays are a great story, but
I know.
Still.
I'd probably lean that way, yeah.
Okay. Good job, Mark.
That's really well
big
done.
Boy.
Yep.
Oh, Frank digging deep. Steelers fewest wins, 50-1. Oh boy, the wheels would really have to come off. I can't. There's too many. Good luck, Frank. There's too many candidates here. The Saints are going to be. I already had a conversation with 2 people today. The Saints are going to be awful. We know about the Giants and their schedule. Everyone's on the Giants win total under, and then Tennessee and the debacle and the factory of sadness in Cleveland too. I mean, this really would have to go sideways with Rodgers.
I think even if Rodgers gets hurt, but they drafted Will Howard, your third cousin.
Yeah.
Man, 50-1. I wish you the best of luck, but that's not a big enough number for me.
Okay. Phoenix to win the WNBA.
All right.
Astros win the American League. Penn State makes the playoff.
That's another good leg. I like that.
Bills win the division, 16-1, Andrew.
76-1.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. You better go
Very
check
good.
the LASIK again.
That's bad, yeah.
Okay.
We have to get it redone when you hit your 40s.
So what do you make of that one?
I like it. And I know there's some big tickets out there that will show, too, also, with the WNBA, which one I think is wide open.
That's a good one.
And I like that it's Penn State just to make it as well.
Sure.
Because I know you talked about the Ohio State stuff in the past couple of days also.
Well, last week I gave out a parlay with Penn State to make the college football playoff. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem that I'm running into is that you cannot, out here in Nevada, you cannot parlay the same sport more than once.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, you can't have more than one leg of the same sport on a parlay. So I can't parlay Clemson to win the ACC and Penn State to make the playoff. That's not allowed out here in Nevada. I think I'll have to make a drive.
All right. Chris, Dodgers World Series, Penn State, Big Ten, Texas, SEC, Chargers, Super Bowl, 1240-1.
Well,
get him, Chris.
Here's my feedback to Chris.
Yeah.
Like, if you really like the first three, Dodgers, Penn State, and Texas, first of all, I would do straight bets on those. But maybe combine those three all together, that's it. And if you want to make it a fourth leg, do it with more teams other than the Chargers to win the Super Bowl. Have like 5 or 6 tickets on this.
Yeah. Mercury WNBA, Florida, makes the college football playoff. You lost me. Mariners win the division.
229-1.
Yeah.
I kind of gave up on the Mariners already.
Yeah. Burrow MVP. Watt Defensive Player of the Year. Gibbs Offensive Player of the Year. Seth 1,000-1.
That'd be a fun one to cash.
Yeah.
Those awards markets are so difficult to hit one of them. To hit 3, go get them.
Yeah, I know. Those are tough. Massaro will be in tomorrow, because he's had plenty of these as well. Rangers Stanley Cup and win the conference. Jonathan Davis.
Okay.
All right, JD. 30-1 and 15-1. Hawks NBA champs, 250-1. Harvey, Offensive Rookie of the Year, 150. There it is again.
Yeah.
Someone sent in a big ticket yesterday on him.
That same person, actually.
Okay.
They showed me the ticket, by the way, on a message where it was back in April that R.J. Harvey was actually posted at 150-1 to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. What is he at now, 20-1?
Yeah. What a number.
I mean, that's an autoplay, clearly. I mean, unload every,
that
clip
awesome.
that you have.
Yeah.
And this is Sports Machine, New Hampshire, has Conconable Rookie of the Year 40-1. Don't hate it.
Yeah, top 5 pick.
Sure, of course.
Why not?
You think he's going to
Injuries?
get tons of playing time, usage?
Anything can happen. Took a bad beat last night. Mama's Pizza has your back. Feeding hungry Texans since 1968. They've won so many Best Pizza awards, they've stopped counting after a few thousand. They won Best Pizza the last 4 decades there. Crushing it in Dallas-Fort Worth. The crust that beats the spread every time. Fresh ingredients, award-winning pies, a flavor that's a guaranteed winner. And when it comes to pizza money, don't waste it on bad bets. Put it where it counts, on a hot slice from Mama's. Franchise opportunities are available if you're thinking long-term value. Do it. Response has been incredible. 817-870-2571 for your franchise opportunities, and check them out, mamaspizzas.net. Mama's Pizza, the only pick that always covers. Look at that picture.
Oh,
Look at
man.
that crust.
I could whack down plenty of slices of that right now. Yeah.
As your meat lovers on this. Oh, that is strong, baby. That is strong. Well done.
This is from Lawrence on X. 5-leg parlay that pays 773-1. Alcaraz Wimbledon.
Mm-hmm.
Astros AL.
Mm-hmm.
Bills AFC.
Yeah.
Cavaliers Eastern Conference.
Yes.
Golden Knights Western Conference.
Sure.
773-1.
How about Cavs 1 seed? Who's stopping them?
The Knicks, that'd be my only comeback.
Yeah, right.
Right? I mean,
because with all the injuries, they won 64 last year, returned just about everybody.
Aren't
The
they
Knicks
gonna
have a
be-
good team, but I think the Knicks, between injuries and also load management, I would think the Cavs would get the 1 seed.
MLB next. How about this? A starting pitcher has gone over his prop for tonight in every single one of his starts this year. Find out who it is next.